Thank you, Mr. Clayton. You do indeed have a lot of experience leading large organizations, though I hope by the end of your tenure in 2.5 years at the DNI, you can add some experience leading small organizations, or at least a much smaller one. As I observed in my opening remarks, and you mentioned in yours, in your current position as the U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, you've taken part in a number of national security-related investigations, including the prosecution of terrorists, narco-traffickers, and others who wish to do harm to the United States and our citizens. I think it's probably important for many viewers to know that the Southern District may be the #1 national security-related U.S. Attorney's Office in the country. Can you speak to your interaction specifically with the intelligence community as part of these investigations and how critical intelligence community collection was for informing the evidence you obtained to pursue convictions in these cases?
Thank you. The short answer is extremely critical. And in the examples that you mentioned, the examples that Senator Rounds mentioned, whether it's Maduro and Carvajal, whether it's al-Sadi, the I'll just say multifaceted terrorist who we've recently captured, and our drug interdiction efforts, combating cartels and the flow of deadly drugs. The intelligence community is essential to our prosecutions in all of those cases. And if I may, it's the only game in town. The United States intelligence community combating those global threats is essential, not just for the U.S., but as was mentioned in Senator Rounds' remarks, keeping our European colleagues safe as well.
Thank you. You also mentioned your time at the SEC. Now, in my neck of the woods, that's the country's best football conference. But here we're talking about the Securities and Exchange Commission. I think most observers would think, well, that's for the stock markets, and a Wall Street lawyer goes in and hopefully gets fees down and markets do well and combats fraud and maybe tackles new issues like cryptocurrency. But I think some viewers would be surprised at the amount of national security-related matters you had to confront at the SEC as well. Could you just go into a little bit more detail on that front, too?
Sure. Starting at the top, national security and economic security are synonymous. National security and market function and market integrity are synonymous. Our financial infrastructure is essential to our security as a nation. Going beyond that, understanding the economic implications of actions and the likely knock-on effects is a big part of what I believe the intelligence community should be providing to the consumers of information. Understanding the economic consequences of actions is an essential part of intelligence, and it's something that I engaged in frequently at the SEC.
And while the Office of the Director of National Intelligence was set up in the aftermath of the 9/11 attacks and in the context of wars in the Middle East, isn't that particularly true as we think about our struggle for mastery with China and also checking Russian aggression around the world, that economic matters are vitally important when we're facing traditional nation-state actors like Russia and China?
Senator Cotton, Chair Cotton, I could not agree more that our adversaries not only look at kinetic and other what I would call traditional ways to harm Americans, they look at economic ways to harm Americans.
Thank you. The Vice Chairman alluded to an address the President will apparently be giving tomorrow night that may or may not be based on some kind of intelligence that's going to be declassified. To what degree, if any, have you been involved in the process for what may be discussed by the President tomorrow night?
I'm not involved in that.
Because you're not currently the Director of National Intelligence.
I'm currently not the Director of National Intelligence.
And in fact, to be involved would violate a core principle, which is you take no actions that would presume your confirmation.
That I couldn't have said it better.
Thank you for helping me establish that fact. The Vice Chairman.
Support journalism you trust. Support PBS News. Donate now, or even better, start a monthly contribution today.